If you fix one simple thing in your trading, you are guaranteed to become more profitable instantly by default. But to fix it, there is 3 problems you need to work through. The first, your brain won't let you follow your plan. And you probably think it's because you are not disciplined enough. But discipline has nothing to do with it. Think about your last session. You told yourself, I will only enter if the price hits this zone and gives me this confirmation. But then a candle starts moving fast. A little bit of FOMO, and suddenly, before the price even touched your zone, you clicked buy. And here the nightmare begins. As soon as you entered, you felt that instant hit of regret in your stomach. You knew you messed up. You watched the trade go into a drawdown, and instead of closing it like you should, you didn't want to admit you were wrong. And the worst part, this isn't just about money anymore. It's about your self-worth. Because every time you break a rule, you are showing yourself that your word means nothing. And this is a bottomless loop. Every time you break your own word, it's more likely that you will break it next time. Which, by the way, also influences everything in your life, not just your trading. So, what's the solution? The industry tells you to just be more disciplined. That's like telling a starving person, just stop feeling hungry. It's useless advice because your biology will always scream louder than your logic. But there is a 3-step process to make following the plan the easiest thing to do instead of a constant struggle. Step 1, stop treating every trade like a lottery ticket and start treating them like a single brick in a 100 trade wall. Step 2, remove the temptation by adding friction. Put your phone in another room and don't look at the charts while in a trade. Step 3, stop feeling like it's your job to make money from the market and start realizing it's your strategy's job to make money while you simply act as its founder. These steps will stop you from breaking your rules, but they won't stop the invisible bleed that is draining your account balance every time you carefully analyze the chart. Think about how many times you saw the perfect setup. Everything was there. But then you started the what if game. What if the 50-minute candle closes weak? What if the resistance zone will hold? While you were busy playing detective, the trend went without you and you lost money on it even if it was a loss. Let me quickly explain how that is possible. Every strategy has an expected value per trade, which is basically how much you make on average when taking a trade. If your expected value per trade is 0.3R, well, you just missed out on it, regardless of the outcome. But let's say you actually took the trade. You still created yourself a huge problem, because the more you stare at those candles, the more emotionally connected you become. If it hits your stop loss, the pain is 10 times worse because you invested all that mental energy into watching it fall. And if it wins, you aren't even happy. You are just exhausted from the stress of watching every pip. It's like trying to help a crane lift a heavy weight by tensing your own muscles. You aren't helping the crane, but you are still going to be exhausted at the end of the day. I have gone through this for a good few months and I'm telling you, it's horrible. And being profitable or making money is not gonna solve it. But let me tell you what will. You have to stop being a worker and start being an architect. An architect does all the work before the building is built. They draw the plans, they check the math, they verify the structure. But once the construction starts, they don't stand there holding the bricks with their bare hands. They let the workers do their job. In trading, your strategy is the worker. Your only job is to provide the blueprint and then get out of the way. But building a blueprint is useless if the person executing it is a fraud. And I'm going to prove to you right now that the profitable version of you in your backtest doesn't even exist. When you're backtesting, you're a genius. You are calm, logical, and your equity curve looks like this. Why? Because you are only executing. You see the setup, you mark the win or loss, and you move on. There is no thinking involved. But the second you go live, you switch from an executioner to a manager. You start thinking, maybe I should take partials here, or this move looks a bit overextended, I will move my stop. It's like writing down a perfect workout plan at home, but the second you go to the gym and it starts to hurt, you do 5 reps instead of 10 because you feel like it's enough. But it gets even worse. Think about all those hours you spent backtesting. The 50% win rate, it was based on somebody who follows rules. But the live you, the manager, he is trading a completely different strategy. One that isn't tested, isn't proven, and is driven by fear. But the real tragedy isn't even the lost money. Because you keep managing your trades, your results will never match your backtest. Never. So what do? You start doubting the strategy for a good reason, I might add. The strategy you are trading is truly not profitable, but that's because you don't follow the one you tested. But you think, this edge doesn't work anymore. The market has changed. So you go back to the drawing board. You find a new strategy, a new mentor, or a new magic time frame. And my friend, you just entered an endless loop. New strategy, new hope, new testing phases. Then the moment you hit a losing streak, you start to interfere. Then you lose money and all the time you spend finding, testing, refining the strategy. And then comes a new strategy, a new hope, and a new testing phase. And this cycle goes on and on for years, and I can promise you, because I've seen it time and time again, most people who are watching this already wasted years in this cycle without even realizing it. But I have some good news too. At least it's not your fault. Your brain is literally tricking you. In psychology, this is called intervention bias. In high stress environments, the human brain is hardwired to believe that doing something is always better than doing nothing. We feel like acting is a sign of skill and waiting is a sign of weakness. Think about a goalkeeper during a penalty kick. Statistics show they have a higher chance of saving the ball if they just stay in the middle. But almost all of them dive left or right. Why? Because if they concede a goal while standing still, they feel like they didn't try. If they dive and miss, at least they did something. That's exactly what you are doing. You would rather interfere and lose money actively than sit on your hands and let the strategy work passively. So if you want to fix this, you need to split your personality in two. First, the developer. This version of you only exists when the market is closed. This is when you think, you backtest, you doubt, and you build the plan. This is where you are smart. Second, the executioner. This version of you starts the moment the market opens. The executioner is brain dead. He doesn't think. He doesn't have an opinion on the news. He doesn't feel the market. He has a checklist. If A plus B plus C happens, click. Once in, close the laptop. So what's the one fix that you need to make to become more profitable instantly? You need to stop trying to win trades. Stop trying to be smart and start executing a predefined system like a robot. But if you don't have a profitable system in the first place, you can follow it like a robot for years and still end up losing money. So watch this video where I go deep on how to create an actually profitable and actually followable strategy.